Good afternoon. My name is Laura Burbano. I am the admissions advisor for the Sport and Performance Psychology. We are so pleased to have you here in our first open virtual house here with student panels and also a program director. So thank you so much for attending. To start with, we ask you that you can please type your questions, anything that you want to ask in the chat box, and then we will just go over those. And if we don't have time for your questions during this session, please keep in mind that we will actually reach out to you via email. So to start with, we're gonna begin with Dr. Woolsey, the Program Director of our Sport and Performance Psychology programs. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, welcome to the webinar. Excited to have everybody here. I'm gonna start with a presentation giving an overview of the SPP programs and what the experience will be like for you as a student here at Western State. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this screen share. All right, can everybody see my presentation, Laura?
Yes, we can see your presentation.
All right. Okay, so first off, my name is Dr. Conrad Woolsey. I'm the director of the SPP program. We also have on this call Dr. Wendell Otto. Both of us are certified mental performance consultants, and we're also both, we also both serve on the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee Sports Psychology Registry. For you, this is important because that's the highest level of certification that you can achieve in our area. And we also have many other faculty that also have that distinction. So to start with, one of the things I wanted to go over is this last year, UWS had the honor of hosting the International Sports Psychology Convention through ASP, which is the essentially the gold standard of all. And this is a big deal because our university was the first to ever be the full presenting sponsor and host for the conference. For you, this is important because UWS has already been recognized as a leader of cutting-edge online education. And this year, we actually were honored again with hosting the conference in Orlando. However, it's been canceled because of COVID. Now it's just going to be online. Here is a picture just to demonstrate at this last year's conference kind of what it would be like for you as a student if you did come. One of the things we do is every student gets a custom UWS polo shirt. We have 3 different colors that I give out, black, gray, and purple. I'm sporting the purple one right now. But as you can see in this picture, we have several alumni and students that attended the event. We actually had 48 between faculty, students, and alumni. We had 48 people at the event. So the reason I bring that up is if you come here and you become part of our team, you're going to get to know a lot of people, maybe even get closer with them, you know, similar to what it'd be like even if you're in person. So I know that as far as in-person programs, I think the most I saw for any program was maybe 15 or 20, and that would even be unusual for most programs at that event. So something that we really would encourage you to do as a student. Okay, so what is sport and performance psychology all about? Well, first off, it's about striving for excellence. And excellence is a mindset that we teach, a mindset of everything that you do. We're also going for achieving optimal performance and satisfaction, teaching the process of success. What does it mean to be successful? What is success? Just winning? Is it other things? Well, what we do is we teach you the process of success where, regardless of the outcomes, you follow a process that leads to success long-term in the future. This includes things like how to build composure, how to build confidence, how to strengthen, create long-term commitments, how to help people become more consistent, in our program, you'll learn how to create and lead highly effective teams. You'll learn effective strategies for managing distractions. So when things happen, which they inevitably do during a performance, how do you manage that and get back to the task at hand and get back to being focused on the performance? The biggest asset to you as a student is the experience of our faculty. Our faculty here at UWS are also practitioners in the field, and they're people who are really doing sport performance psychology. They do that for their living, on top of also being quality teachers. One of the things that we're really lucky about is several faculty apply, so we get to pick from the best. You know, we have 100 applicants every year, and we get to pick who is the best teacher out there. That's one of the advantages for you. Also, the other thing that's really unique about our program is the high quality of our students and who you'll learn from in the classroom. If you're a master's student, you'll also have the opportunity to learn alongside doctoral students. And many of our doctoral students are military leaders in the special forces. They already are running their own businesses. They're already coaching at the college and professional levels. So you just get this opportunity to meet not only successful professionals that you're in class with, also elite performers. You know, we have students in the program from nearly every league. We have people in professional hockey, we have women's basketball, we have soccer, football, professional baseball, LPGA, golf. So we have students that you'll be learning with that they're not just, you know, trying to learn this just for the degree. They're also trying to improve their own performance. So that really adds to the value for you as a student. So back to our faculty, all of our faculty have doctoral degrees, with many of them being licensed and having the CMPC certification, as well as we have the most faculty of any university that have people on the United States Olympic Committee Sports Psychology Registry. And again, that's the highest honor and standard that you can achieve in our field. So having those connections and recommendations for the future would be very beneficial for you as a student. So this is important because it creates a practical learning opportunity for you and many diverse sport experiences for people who have established. Back to the value of our coursework. In our MS degree, our master's degree, it's designed to flow directly into the doctoral degree. Therefore, if you choose to apply and are accepted, after graduating, you will have core curriculum up to 24 credits that count towards both degrees. It's designed this way because I really want those that are looking at the master's degree to think about this, to really set yourself apart in this field. You really need to consider what it would be like to continue on and get a doctoral degree, because to really set yourself apart, to really get that leadership role, the highest paying jobs, the jobs that, you know, working with college and professional teams. If you have that doctor, that's going to set you apart. And by doing both with us, you actually can get it a lot quicker, literally 3 to maybe even more years quicker than it would be if you did those separately, getting a master's and doctorate at separate places. For those of you that are doing the doctorate, sorry for the news that you're going back, but you're still going to get great value. And also, so here's a breakdown for the MS and the EdD program in terms of the length. The master's is between 53 and 54 credits, and the doctorate's 86 credits, but I should emphasize that this is quarter credits and not semester credits. So the equivalency is 36 for the master's is 36 semester, and for the doctorate it's only 57 semester credits. So in the design itself, I should let you know that our doctorate is, in our field, it is the shortest doctorate out there, but it's designed with the quality in mind, and it just gives you an opportunity. I put on here that the doctorate can be completed in 12 quarters. You could do it faster than that. That's really a conservative number. For me, looking at you taking only 2 courses per quarter and really pacing yourself, getting back to that mindset of excellence. You know, if you're taking 3 or 4 classes, which some people do, just keep in mind that I'm expecting you to give your best effort in every class and not just, you know, C's don't get degrees at UWS, you know, so every class has to be approached with the mindset of excellence with us. Okay, so I'm going to start with a overview of our MS program core courses. We have ethics and professional identity, sports psychology, research methods and program evaluation, personality and counseling theories, psych of performance excellence, applied sports psychology, sport and society, applied motor learning, and psych prep and mental skills training. Now you'll notice here by each of these, they have a K1, K2, K6. They have different knowledge competency areas next to them, and those are for courses that are towards the CMHC certification and what category those fit in. The next slide here is the core curricula for the doctoral program. And what I have highlighted for you is the 24 credits I mentioned earlier that are in both programs. Now, as doctoral students, we do give you special attention with extra advising and with the main instructor, where the instructor does know who is a doctoral student and who's a master's student. And one of the things that you'll learn from me or Dr. Otto in your interview is one of our expectations is that you work on your mentorship role throughout the doctoral program, and we expect you to participate and to be to really start working on that teaching and mentoring experience during the program. So other advantages, I know a lot of you are interested, if you're in this presentation, you want to know about the applied focus of our program and how we actually are working with people and teaching you to go out there and do this for a living. So our SPP program focuses on both the art and the science of sports psychology consulting. Everything that you do, you'll learn how to back up what you say with research. So it's not just, well, I heard somebody else did that, so I'm going to do it. And beyond the learning and basic principles and theories, you're going to actually apply these techniques and interventions with a hands-on approach, particularly when you get towards the end of the curricula with classes like psych prep and mental skills training, SPP interventions, and for sure the mentorship. In the group team and organizational dynamics course, you'll be working on group projects, essentially practicing what it would be like if you were to go into an organization and help them with their strategies to have better performance as an organization. I also listed on here at the bottom of the slide, Psychology of Performing Arts. It's one of our new and exciting courses, which is guided towards helping performers, artists, musicians, dancers, and helping them with the psychology of being a performer. Now I'm going to talk about the sport performance psychology team learning environment. Now this is something that's really important to me and Dr. Otto, and when you get to students in the program later on, I'm sure that they've experienced this as well. But we encourage a team learning environment. And it's a little bit different, I think, than what people might think of when they think of an online degree, they might think, oh, I just want to do my own thing whenever I want to, have the flexibility, and all those things are great. But we're also trying to teach you a mindset and a way of thinking that's going to make you successful in the future. And just doing your own thing and not considering the team and the organization that you're going to be working for is probably not going to set you up really well for success when you go out there in the field and trying to get jobs. So, you know, we do expect, as I talked earlier, you know, you're not going to only learn from your instructors. As a student, you are going to be expected, each of you, to be involved in that teaching and learning process. And part of that, each of our courses at UWS has interactive Zoom sessions, which is one thing that sets our program apart from a lot of other online programs, is that in each of our courses, you'll have the opportunity to see your instructors face to face, to ask them live questions. And again, that gives you the opportunity to see who you're in class with, to clarify questions you might have, and also just to have that, you know, virtual, in-person type classroom experience. I think now with Zoom, everybody's kind of getting used to that with doing a lot of things virtually versus in person anyway, so that's good. That's what our program is really designed to utilize, a lot of that. Our students, one of the things that has been reported to Dr. Otto and I, and also in our alumni survey, is that our students have reported that learning in classes with the doctoral students, practicing in the field already, has helped them tremendously with their networking and job opportunities. And our doctoral students have also talked about how in the mentorship class, they've built a network of professionals that they can go to help them with any issues, help them with referrals, etc. So that's one of the team, you know, team learning environment, which I think this picture, along with the earlier picture that you saw, the support that we have, you know, this really shows, I mean, this is the graduate fair, and look at all the students and faculty that come and are just supporting not only the program, but each other. And it's just something that's really cool and special about what it's like to be a student here at UWS. And if you come, definitely, I want to meet you, and I want to introduce you to our faculty and several others in the field, because this event, you know, it seems like sports psychology is this huge field, but at this event, you're going to be meeting the people that are at the top, the people that are doing the hiring. And it's really, you know, I know it's expensive to travel and to do all that, but it's really a good investment in your long-term future. Back to the coursework, one of the things that really sets the UWS program apart is that we have a lot of flexibility in our elective options. All of our courses are actually, all of our electives are actually taught at the doctoral level. And one of the things with us having so many options, you have to see right here, human growth and development, psychopharmacology, psychopathology and appraisal, multicultural counseling. These are all courses, these ones I just mentioned, those are all courses that are required for the CMPC certification through the Association for Applied Sports Psychology. And again, with the K, you know, the K numbers, K3, Knowledge Area 3, these are courses that have already been pre-approved by ASP. We've already submitted our curricula, our syllabi. And if you want advantage of being a student here, is if you take those courses with us, then they've already been approved and you don't have to submit a separate application for those to be accepted. For any of you that are possibly looking at the certificate program, maybe you already have a doctorate and you're missing courses, because one of the things that's very unique about us versus competitors is that you can actually do everything that you need here with us at UWS. We're the one-stop shop. You can take all these specialized counseling courses along with all the exercise science and motor learning, biomechanics, all those things that you need to be the best well-rounded practitioner you can be. So I don't know if you've had time, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. We'll send you copies of the planner with the different courses. Next, I'm going to talk about, so this was actually the individual studies electives that are in the doctoral program. And this is really for people who, well, it's for a lot of people, but if you have not had previous experience, and let's say you don't already have a counseling degree or another degree in sports psychology, you can complete all of the coursework requirements that you need in order to do the mentorship option. For the positive leadership and administration concentration, this is a focus for those people that already have several counseling courses done in their master's or another degree, and they're looking to specialize being in a leadership role. A lot of people who do this are athletic directors at universities, they're business leaders, or they're let's say a public school district administrator. We have principals, we have high school ADs and things like that, and they really like this path, the positive leadership and administration. Now I'm going to talk about the culminating experience options. And first we have the mentorship, which is designed towards working towards becoming a certified mental performance consultant. And then we have the dissertation. The dissertation is more for those who, it's more like a PhD program where you do a study and you work through it, whereas the mentorship is geared towards really doing those hands-on hours that you need to get certified. And for those of you that, again, those of you that are in the master's program, that are looking at the master's, this is only part of the doctorate. However, like I was saying before, if you're really looking at doing this, you want to consider the doctorate. And in fact, it wasn't until about 4 years ago, maybe even 3, that ASP actually changed it to where you could actually become certified with just a master's. But really the standard in the field is still to have both. So that's why I'm just encouraging everybody to really think deep and think about the value, because you're only looking at another 2 years beyond the master's to get both with the final year. So really a year, 2 more years, and the final year you're doing those applied experiences with athletes. As I already mentioned, our curriculum is very comprehensive. Our doctoral program is the only one in our field that actually has the mentorship experience towards completing hours to certification. All of our courses were originally designed to meet the CMPC standards, as I mentioned before. And so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the mentorship and the doctorate and what makes us so unique and the value that that will bring for you. In the mentorship course, it's a little bit different than others. All of our other courses, they do have Zoom meetings, but they don't have required weekly attendance at those. They're optional, they're recorded. Our top students love to go to them, and I encourage everybody to go to them because that's where you can ask questions. A lot of instructors do like a study prep to get you ready for the exams. They go over case studies, so really you should attend those no matter what. But in the mentorship, it's different to where there is actually a set time with a small group. You have a group no larger than 6 students, and the advantage of that is each week you'll get 2+ hours of direct mentorship supervision with somebody who is a qualified CMPC mentor. And you'll also have experiences with your classmates, and you'll get to learn from them on what are the different sports and different case studies that they're working. Because you might be working with wrestling and softball. They could be working with swimming, gymnastics, and just everybody has these different sports, and they bring this unique perspective. But we've even had equestrian, fencing, rowing. golf. We've had all these specialized sports, and you get to learn the different perspective and the different way that the interventions are applied along with your mentor. So, and that's really what sets the mentorship apart with us, is that you're actually going to come out much more well-rounded than you'd be if you hired somebody. You know, there is the option to go out and pay somebody $100, $150, $200 per hour of supervision. Myself, Dr. Otto, others, we're qualified to do that. We've done that in the past, like all of our mentors, but it's not nearly the experience that it is in our program and the learning that comes from that small group in those weekly live meetings. So that one is definitely like being in person. Let's say it's 4 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and you meet with that group. One of the last things I'm going to cover here is the relationship of the sport and performance psychology program with the CMHC programs. Our program is fully integrated, so the mental health counseling courses, we share those courses with the mental health counseling program. They're the same course, and the reason that's a good benefit to you is those courses can also count towards the state licensure requirements. And you know, for example, if you take the multicultural counseling or psychopathology and appraisal, and at some point in the master's degree, and then let's say that you decide that you want to become licensed in the future, then you will already have that course completed, and it meets all those standards that it would for licensure. So now I'm going to turn it over the next steps for preparing your application, program advising, and so on. So thanks for listening, and I look forward to some of your questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Woolsey. Okay, so we have a little bit of time to a couple of questions. So I'm just going over some of those. Okay, so one of our attendees is asking, is this a specific doctorate helpful for having your own clientele? What is the difference between a Doctor of Education, a doctoral degree in psychology, and a PhD program?
Okay, yeah, so the Doctor of Education program, it's really what we did is we did a blend. If you do the mentorship option, that's more like getting a PsyD. If you do the dissertation option, which is more research focused, it's for people that, let's say that you want to get a job being a college professor, teaching at a Division I research institution. That's actually, I started as a college coach and a professor. I was at Oklahoma State for several years, and I did a dissertation myself. I got a PhD, but then I had to go back on my own and do the mentorship, which took me an additional 5 years while I was out there in the field coaching and teaching and doing sports psychology consulting. So, you know, really the difference is those differences. The reason that we're an EdD and not a PhD is because we have two options, if that makes sense to people. And in a PhD, you have to do a dissertation. So you have to do the research. All of our students are prepared to be able to do research, how to interpret research, but you do have the option to choose the mentorship to do the applied hours. For those that are already certified, let's say you already had that done already, then you are required to do the dissertation path because you've already got that level of certification. But really the differences are small. Like a PsyD, they have an internship. You know, did anybody have any follow-up questions? Did I answer that for you? there's really very little difference. It just, we have more than one option, so that's why we're in EdD.
Yes. So we have another question here. So somebody is asking about how easy is to get certified, like after completing the master's or the doctoral degree program, how difficult it is to get certification in Canada. And the same person is asking if we have a lot of international students in our program or not.
I'm going to have Wendell, if he'd go ahead and have his stuff enabled as well, because he might want to chime in here. Yeah. So Dr. Otto actually he actually has some international students right now in the mentorship. All of our mentorship is done via online on Zoom. So myself, Dr. Otto, Vince Lodato, Russell Flayton, Bridget Smith, others that are supervisors, you'll meet with them via Zoom from whatever location that you're in. Now, right now with the pandemic going on, we're actually helping all of our students set up mentorship hours, helping them with finding athletes. Do you have anything to add to that, Dr. Otto?
No, it's pretty fluid, especially with Canada. They have their certification, which is a little more in depth with the application procedures and certain things they have to follow there. But also the certification of the CMHC through ASP is also a valid route to go and works hand in hand with theirs as well. So.
Okay, so the next question is specifically about the mentorship culminating experience in the doctoral program. So if you can please elaborate a little bit more about the mentorship hours and how the mentorship hours are met in a hybrid doctoral program.
I'm going to let Dr. Otto answer this one.
There's you have 400 hours that you have to obtain for the CMPC. And they're broken down where you have 200 direct hours where you are facing clients one-on-one or in team situations. 150 hours which are indirect, which means you're getting ready to prepare for a, let's say, a workshop and or getting yourself prepared for working with your individual athletes. And then you have 50 hours of supervision, which we do via Zoom. We help you. The hardest part is actually the 200 contact hours, and it's being prepared to work with a variety of athletes and teams. Get initiated, getting started. We help you set that up if you needed to. We provide assistance in that, and then our mentorship is based off of case management and case formulation, and that's also works in with the indirect hours and with the 50 hours of supervision.
I'll add on that too, Laura, if you don't mind. So also our curriculum has a set structure where the curriculum builds on topics like how do you keep case notes? How do you do that effectively with the client? How do you establish yourself with a team? How do you, and you're going to learn in the different courses building up, particularly last course before the sign up for this is the SPP interventions. So in that course, you get the framework for how do I go through and work an intervention with different athletes? How do I go through a case and a case study? And then you take that model and you set up the mentorship experiences with both individuals and teams. One of the things is for the Association of Applied Sports Psychology, these hours actually have to all be for sports psychology, that no counseling hours or anything like that can count. So it has to be performance-related issues. We do have a manual that gives you the detailed examples. So please, if you have further questions, we can send you that manual. I'm sure that'll put your mind at ease, because we have things in there like how do you set up, or what experiences count, which ones don't count. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to that about the structure? And
no, it's actually stair-stepped, from mentorship 1 all the way through 4. And so you actually start off with very basic stuff with the intakes and needs analysis and work your way up to the end where you actually understand what your theoretical orientation is and how you a delivery model. So yeah, it's a great system.
Okay, and I believe our last question has to do with, there is a participant who already has licensed professional counseling and is asking in regards to which program could be the best, either the Master's in Sport and Performance Psychology or the doctoral program, and why?
Certainly the doctorate. It sounded like they're already licensed at the master's level as a counselor. Is that correct? So definitely the doctoral program, and in fact, our doctorate is going to be shorter than the master's program they've already completed. The minimum quarter credits for any licensure program in counseling is 90 quarter credits, and our doctorate's 86. So it's going to be shorter than that master's that they've already completed. But also, they probably likely qualify for some courses if they're still licensed in particular. And you know, I might need to ask how long ago is it taken, but when students are already licensed, they'll likely qualify for some of the transfer credit in some courses, such as counseling methods and practices and things like that, which they've already, you know, demonstrated proficiency, or research methods and program evaluation. We know that if they've become a licensed counselor, we know they've had that course already. So that's just something to also look at, that it could be, you know, potentially even shorter for that person. So certainly would do the doctorate, because the doctorate's the only option that has the mentorship, and what they really want from UWS is that final year and that applied experience where they're really learning how to do sports psychology very intensely on a weekly basis. And just for the master's students, that's why, you know, part of why I've made it such a good deal to continue on is really, you know, there are some programs that tell people out there like, oh, you're ready to go with our master's. I can just tell you that we've had so many students from those schools come to us say, you know, I thought I was going to be ready to go with the master's, but I'm trying to run my own business. I'm not getting the respect, and I'm not getting the job. I'm not getting the jobs, you know, and you know, that's why I just encourage everybody to you're right there, just keep rolling and be fully prepared.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Woolsey. So now for the other questions, we will actually reach out to you via email with those answers. And now we're going to transition to our student panel. So our students in the Sport and Performance Psychology program, so we have students currently who have completed either the doctoral program or the master's program, or are looking into any of our graduate certificates. So again, please feel free to start typing your questions, and if we cannot get to your questions during this session, we will for sure reach out to you via email. So I am very pleased to introduce our students. So we have Leslie, we have Angela. Thank you so much for participating. We have Matthew, Danielle, Melissa. And so, yeah, so let's start with a little bit of an introduction. So if you can just, each one of you just go ahead and tell us what is your program. If you already graduated, when did you graduate? And if you are a current student, where is your expected graduation time? And also, what is your current job or something that you want to or are looking forward to after you graduate?
I'll go first. So I'm Leslie. I'm set to graduate in March. I'm an EdD student. I'm working on my dissertation right now. Currently, I'm the director of research for the University of Western States. So I work for the school. I go to school at the school. So I see it on both sides, as a student and as an administrator. What else? In the future, great. future. We have to start thinking about that now, don't I? I own a couple of strength and conditioning gyms with my husband here in Portland. And so I'm using my degree to work with our athletes there. We have some professional athletes. We have some general public athletes who just want to get a little better. So that's what I have been doing with my degree already. And I look forward to continuing to do that once I graduate.
Thank you so much, Leslie. What about you, Angela?
Hi, everyone. This is really fantastic. So I'm actually based in Singapore. I've been in Asia for the last 16 years. I'm Canadian. I'm the head of HR for a technology company for APAC in India. And I did look through some of the pre-questions, and I did notice a few with regards to kind of managing time, etc. And I thought it was going to be an impossible task, but I did graduate from the master's program in June. It's not impossible, but you absolutely need to organize your time. I spent a lot of time traveling in China where I had no access to internet. Sometimes I had trouble even getting online to submit my assignments, etc. So it does require some organization on our part. My goal is to eventually have my own practice in Asia, work with executives kind of in corporate world, as well as work with professional athletes and teams.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm sort of like going through what I see on my screen. So what about you, Matthew?
Hello, my name is Matthew. I am a current EdD student in the Mentorship 3 course. So I'm set to graduate in December of this year. Prior to this, I spent 10 years in the Marine Corps, and currently I am a full-time soccer coach. I have a wonderful family. I have 3 kids, a newborn, less than 2 weeks. I have a 23-month-old and a 14-year-old daughter. So, like Angela said, finding that balance, even at home in the States, is very important. Oftentimes I find myself doing homework late at night when everybody goes to sleep. But I love the program. It's been great. Currently I'm building that clientele up through the mentorship experience. And plans when my daughter graduates high school. So until she does, I hope to have a private practice. And then, there are other options as far as, working with the military, working with sports teams, working with individuals, just looking to excel in what they do best, and that's play sport or run a business or whatever they want to do as far as gaining that performance. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthew. So what about you, Danielle?
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny. I completed the master's program in summer 2018, and then I'm currently in the EdD program. Me and Matt are in the same group, and I'll be graduating in December as well. I want to work in student-athlete mental health, and I'm actually really excited because in the fall, I will be moving to Arizona to work at the University of Arizona it's an internship for the mentorship program. And so I'll be working with all of their adaptive sports. And yeah, so that's what's next for me.
Yeah, thank you so much. What about you, Melissa?
Hi, everybody. I am a longtime health and fitness and wellness professional, and I'm about 25 years into that aspect of my career. I just completed the master's program with Angela. She was in my cohort as well. And we just finished back in June. And just piggybacking on what her and Matthew talked about in terms of the amount of time needed. I always tell people that ask me, because I've been out of school, out of my undergraduate program for quite some time before I applied to this master's program. And after this culminating experience, when anyone asks me about going back to school after taking such a big chunk of time off, I say, if you don't love the material and don't love what you're studying, then it's going to be an uphill battle. But because I love the material so much, and the courses, my cohort, the professors, and everything that we were learning, it was really exciting. And putting in that time late at night, like Matthew spoke about, or just managing my time a little bit better, really came kind of naturally because I was so interested in what we were learning. So I have my own small business. I work with athletes here in Boulder, Colorado, and I am just looking to expand that business and then possibly move into working with the psychological health and performance folks at my undergraduate alma mater, which is the University of Colorado.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so we have one participant actually asking about basically, what do you think is probably the best thing that you sort of like imagine when you were applying to our institution, like as opposed to applying to other universities? Why specifically you chose UWS above other institutions that are offering also programs in sport and performance psychology? What was the most like feature, most important feature that came to you when you were deciding and why you chose UWS? So anybody can answer.
For me, it was actually pretty convenient because I work for the school, but I've seen the program start from, I've been at the school, I've worked there long enough to see the program, we have no program, to what it is now. So watching it year after year get better and improve, and to see what it is now, it was like, it wouldn't be the smartest decision if I didn't attend. Just the amount of work that's gone into it, and the love, and just the research and everything that Conrad and the school has been doing, and Dr. Otto, everything, that's for me, that solidified, like, I need to be there, I need to be in this program. It's great, I'm on board.
Okay, so I'm curious, in your case, Angela, so you mentioned that you actually are a Canadian citizen and you are stationed actually abroad. So what was exactly the most important feature that came to your mind when you were actually deciding for a program in sport and performance psychology, and why UWS?
So there were two really key things for me. One, obviously getting an education from a high performing organization, and likely it had to be abroad and it needed to be online based off of my current work. But the second thing, and actually this was probably the largest contributor, is that it had the positive psychology concentration. And for me, that was something that I had been looking for and hadn't been able to find. So that combination for me, and I don't know how I didn't find it sooner than I did. And maybe it just happened that, it came up, but I had been looking prior to when I started for something that would encapsulate everything that I specifically wanted. Those two things stood out at UWS. So those were the two main factors for me.
Thank you so much. So the other question specifically has to do with the capstone project. And we have here two people who graduated with a master's degree. So I'm asking you, Melissa, if you can share a little bit about your experience with the capstone project. What is exactly the capstone project? And if you can share a little bit about what you did for your program.
Sure. So the capstone project was, I saw it as just encapsulating the big highlights of the entire course over the last 2 years. So we were asked initially at the beginning of the course to pick out between 7 and 10 assignments that we had completed prior to this last course throughout the program that really highlighted the experience for us, what really provided us with the most growth, what projects were really the most interesting. And then we had to put them together into a website. And there was, gosh, a lot of the learning, I think, just on the technical side too, putting it all together, and how I wanted things to look as if a client was coming to me and needed to understand what my background was. So it needed to be approachable. Obviously, visually, we wanted it to look really nice, and we wanted it to be able to explain what is sport and performance psychology and what can it do for me? So kind of tackling it from both a student end, but also on a consumer end as well. So I would just say that, and Angela, you can also expand on this as well, but I would say for me, it ended up being sort of this place where I was able to take all of the projects that I felt really encapsulated the entire program and put them together in a way that would make sense for the average person or athlete to take a look at the website and really get an understanding of my background and my knowledge base.
Okay, thank you so much, Melissa, for that explanation. So our next question has to do with this particular applicant, yes. So wants to or is looking at our programs as a second career path. And so Matthew, if you can share a little bit about your particular experience. I mean, why it was that you went from one field to another, and if you felt supported when you were in our program, I mean, coming into the program as a second career path.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had probably 3 different careers before I finally settled into sports psychology. First being in the Marine Corps. Left the Marine Corps to do medical school. Went through all the prereqs there, decided not to do that for my own personal reasons. And then I really started focusing on coaching, specifically soccer. And then during my master's program, I actually met a colleague of Dr. Woosley, Bill Steffen, and he introduced me to the program. And what enticed me the most about the program was the mentorship experience, being able to gain those hours while in school. Because like Dr. Woosley mentioned, it can take some time if you go a different route. And this is actually built into the program. So as far as being supported through the career changes, yes, I don't have a bachelor's in psychology or master's in psychology, but through my coursework in my undergrad and my master's, I've taken sports psychology courses, and I found a home at UWS, and, you know, it's been a great experience, and, you know, I'm happy with my choice. So it's a great program.
Thank you so much, Matthew, for sharing that. And then lastly, for now, so the last question is specifically about the mentorship experience. So Danny, you mentioned that you are about to start your mentorship experience with the University of Arizona. So congratulations on finding that position. If you can share with us a little bit about what is it specifically that you're gonna do and how are you gonna handle during this pandemic, the mentorship hours, that will be great, so that our participants can learn a little bit more about different opportunities and how they can set up their own experiences also.
Yeah, so Matt and I actually started our mentorship experience in January. So we're on like the third 3 out of 4 mentorship, courses. And so going to University of Arizona, I will be working with all of their adaptive sports. So that ranges from golf, tennis, rugby, road racing, wheelchair basketball. So it's a lot of different athletes. And so I think that Practicum 1 and Practicum 2 has prepared me very well. Shout out to Dr. Otto for what SOAP notes or clinical notes look like, managing my time. I'm not sure. Is there something else did I miss somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any change? Because we know that for the mentorship experience, there are different hours that only can be taken like remotely, while other hours need to be like face-to-face. But given the current circumstances, how are you gonna meet those? Okay, so ASP actually made a asterisk mark in virtual hours. So we have the opportunity to do it for video for a little bit longer, which has been really helpful. But I am going to
utilize, obviously, social distancing, because it'll be in Arizona has been a hotspot. So my plan is to observe their practices and then meet with them virtually through Zoom. So like meet with them individually through Zoom, do like group sessions in person at a social distance. So that's how I plan to go about my hours.
Okay, thank you so much. And then the last question for anybody who wants to answer is, what was your favorite class and also your favorite instructor while you were with us in your program, and why?
I'll start. Probably my favorite course, or I'm going to say courses, has been the mentorship experience. One, because I like to be hands-on. I want to learn what I'm learning, and taking everything that we've been taught in the program, and now we're able to apply it to the athletes or teams that we work with. One of my favorite instructors is Dr. Otto. He's very supportive. You know, I kind of joke with him, and I have his number on speed dial. And I've actually left a client and immediately called him and was like, I need feedback. I need feedback. And he was there. So the supervision aspect of the program as well is phenomenal, because every supervisor I've had going through the program or the mentorship experience, to include Dr. Flatten, you know, with the newborn that just came in, I was in constant communication between terms to ensure there was a plan in place in case I needed an extended period of time off. He was there just as supportive as Dr. Otto. So my favorite courses so far have been the mentorship.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything else that somebody wants to say before we transition to, yeah, absolutely, Danny.
I echo Matt. I think that the mentorship experience has been great on the side of supervision, but also our cohort has been really amazing. We're all at different stages in like where we want to be, what we want to do, what teams we want to work with. So it's really cool to see how each of us are using mental skills training to provide peak performance to athletes and professionals. I also think that the psych I think it's like mental preparation, that course, I don't know the name of it, but that course, you go through what a mental playbook or game is like, and I still use that. So it's super helpful. Yeah, and I would say my favorite professor has been Dr. Condi. He is like super intentional. I love the positive communication, positive leadership. All of those courses are amazing, and he's great.
Okay, so thank you so much to all of you for the opportunity to hear about you and your experiences with UWS. So I hope that we can see you again, and I'm saying that to the students. So now I'm going to transition to the admissions presentation. So thank you again for participating with us. Bye-bye.
Feel free to reach out if you have other questions for me or Dr. Otto. So thanks, everybody.
Okay, so now I'm going to transition to the presentation for how to apply. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now if you are ready to apply, so I'm just going to go over like what are the different things that you should keep in mind when submitting your application with us. Okay, so you already know that our program, our master's, is online, so it takes under 2 years to get completed. We are currently accepting applications for the fall term, but we actually offer 3 entry terms. So we offer fall, spring, and also summer. So if you are ready to apply, if you really want to start your career in sport and performance psychology, so please feel free to reach out to us in admissions, but also keep in mind the deadline for August 21st is our priority deadline, and our final deadline is September 4th. Okay, so the tuition per credit is $540, and we are currently offering small scholarships for students, all students across the board. I got a question recently about that 500 per credit, if it's actually for all students, regardless if they are in the US or outside of the US. So that is the same price per credit for all students. Okay, and then so the application process requires official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions attendance. We do have a cumulative GPA, minimum cumulative GPA of 2.75. If your GPA in your bachelor's degree is actually below 2.75, so please just feel free to reach out to me, the admissions advisor, so that we can go over case-by-case application review process. Then we also need a personal statement between 500 words to 1,000 words, combined between career goals and extracurricular activities, 2 letters of recommendation that can come from supervisors, professors, colleagues, or former clients, and then a resume that highlights your educational and also your professional background. Okay, so for the doctoral degree program again, you can complete the program between 2 to 3 years. It depends if you go full-time or part-time. We also have 3 entry terms, fall, spring, and also summer. So we are currently accepting applications for all terms. So you're just welcome to reach out to us in admissions, and we will just guide you through the application process. The tuition, the price per credit is $669, and again, that is the same for all students, regardless of where they are, in the US or outside. We're also offering small scholarships for incoming students, so you are just welcome to send your formal application to our program, and then right away send your graduate studies scholarship application. Okay, so the minimum entrance requirements is basically a 3.0 cumulative GPA, and also we're looking for official transcripts from all institutions attended, a personal statement between 250 to 500 words between career goals and extracurricular activities, 2 letters of recommendation, and a resume where you will highlight your professional background and also your educational background. And then the same process will work for our graduate certificates. So we are actually accepting as a minimum education requirement for the graduate certificates, a bachelor's degree. So please keep in mind that the graduate certificates are professional development programs. So if you are considering the graduate certificates to be sort of like the only a program that will enable you to get CMPC certified, you will actually need to go first for a master's degree, but the graduate certificate will certainly set you up to the next step. So again, the entrance requirement for our graduate certificates is a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution or a master's or doctoral degree. The GPA requirement is 2.75. If you have a GPA below, please just reach out to us for a case-by-case review process. And then the application documents, again, official transcripts from all institutions attended, a personal statement, career goals and extracurricular activities between 250 to 500 words, 2 letters of recommendation that can come from supervisors, colleagues, former professors or clients, and then a resume. So if you are ready to apply, so please contact the admissions program advisor. So that will be me. So you have my email is lburbano@uws.edu. You can schedule a 30-minute advising appointment. If you actually go into our website and you click under admissions, meet the admissions team, you can just find my name and book right there the advising appointment. You can also attend our Q&A virtual sessions. It's all Tuesdays from 3:30 to 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. and then start guiding all your outstanding materials like the official transcripts and the letters of recommendation and all of that. And then if you have any issues uploading or sending, just please email us either at admissions@UWS or at lburbano@uws.edu. And then if you want to start sort of like quickly going through the application process, you're welcome to send unofficial transcripts so that we can start quickly. And then lastly, if you want to start contacting the financial aid office, I totally recommend that you will just reach out to finaid@uws.edu. So thank you so much again for attending our event, and I'll be happy to connect with you soon. Bye-bye.